Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so. I'm exceptionally pleased about to bring you my first Militado. This is the ML03. It's a military dress watch. Is there such a thing? This looks unbelievable. They have got a multitude of colors to choose from. This is, you'll see the one I've opted for at the moment. Yeah, Militado are a brand that I've been aware of now for a little while. Now I'm fortunate enough to get my hands on one of them. There are going to be more coming. You would have seen my community post a while ago where I did mention the fact that not only can you purchase it on AliExpress, they've got a website you can also use. So I'll leave links to both of those in the description. Please do shop about on both because obviously might work out cheaper. Plus also in the UK, if it's sort of below £135, it is better to use the website, to be honest. So do bear that in mind. They've got a plethora of watches to choose from now. They're not releasing them massively quickly because they are making sure that they're the business. And that's the first impressions when I received this watch. It did belie the price, to be honest. Like Sapphire crystal, Seiko quartz movement inside. The dial looks stunning. It's got a sort of like a fluted type bezel. Yeah, much to like first impressions were fantastic. But as I always say, hopefully by the time we get to the end of the video, you know if it's for you or not. As I say, links in the description. So sit back, relax, get a drink of choice, and we'll get there together because it's about that time to get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. You'd have seen it in my my unboxing, my watch haul video. Bits and pieces up here. You got a signed warranty card, as you can see there, instruction manual, just a bit of paper because there's not a lot to go through. In a foam, just to keep it sort of in position and not rattling about on its way over to where you are. And this is the watch. Let me just adjust the time quickly. I normally have it done beforehand, but I omitted to do so. So let me just take the crown out. I'm going to put it over to sort of like, just sort of here, sort of position I like to record. I'll leave the crown undone, but as you see, it's a screw down crown. So this is the ML03. I'll bring the other color variations up next to me. I did the same thing in my watch haul video, but yeah, just in case you missed it or whatever, you can see the different colors now. Going for no gloves again. We'll see how we get on with that. But as the weather gets a bit warmer, it does become a bit more tricky. But yeah, the ML03. Inside this watch, it's running a Quartz Seiko VD78 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. It's nice to see they've gone for a movement that befits the watch in terms of it being a small hand movement, which obviously has got small hands on the dial. So its purpose, if you like, it's fulfilled in that sense. Known entity, so Quartz, you know what you're getting. Quite easy to change the battery out as and when the time comes. Yeah, I can't imagine it not running really, really well given it's a Quartz movement. So yeah, I think it's good to see they've used that. Not going to win any awards, I don't think, but I mean, good, reliable movement to have in there. Good watch. So there we are, the VD78. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal and the strap, so the strap's leather, the crystal we'll go for in a moment, but you've got a sort of like a fluted style bezel. I'm not sure what else you'd call that. You've got the onion style crown, all 316L stainless steel, as is the case. All polishing. You can see the fingerprints and stuff. I do apologize, guys, but that's screwed down as well. You need to have the correct tool, though, to be able to do that in terms of... Let me just wipe that quickly. 1 second, guys. So yeah, you need the correct tool to be able to do that. Still not great. That's the problem with high polished surfaces. But yeah, all 316L stainless steel, and that's including the pin buckle clasp as well, guys. So there's the bezel, crown, case back, and the pin buckle clasp, all 316L stainless steel, and all polished throughout. The case thickness of the watch is 11.9 millimeters. The case diameter, I measured just above the crown because it's sort of like a square shape, isn't it? So it was coming in at 36.1, and when you include the crown, it was coming at 39.7 millimeters. The lug width on this is 18, and the lug to lug tip to tip of the watch was coming at a 43.1. But it does wear a little bit smaller than that in its length. It's just the lugs do sort of stretch out a little bit. But yeah, good sort of sizing, quite small. So yeah, gonna keep lots of different wrist sizes happy. So there we are. The crown is situated at the 3 o'clock onion style crown, as I've already mentioned, screwed down. The case back, as I also mentioned, screwed down case back. You'll need a tool similar to what you open with a Rolex. The bezel, really nice bezel. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what you'd call that. I've just gone with fluted. as I'm not sure. So answers in the comment section if you know exactly what that bezel's called. I'll appreciate that. The leather strap's nice. It's taking a little while to break in. It's nice the way they've sealed it. I think it's 2 bits of leather attached to each other and sealed at the sides. But either way, it's comfortable now. But it did take a little while to break in, to be honest. When I first put it on, it was a bit cumbersome on wrist. It sort of sits like that because it wasn't conforming. But yeah, eventually it's done the trick. Pin buckle clasp, unsigned, full fully polished, as I mentioned a moment ago. The crystal covering the dial, you'll see it's quite pronounced domed. It's a sapphire crystal. So that was good to see, actually, because yeah, good pricing, sapphire crystal on there. The water resistance of the watch is cited as being 100 meters. So that would give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance. And the weight will appear in the top right. On this leather strap, which obviously, and it's not massive in size, it's coming at 49 grams. So not very big, to be honest. It's going to, like I said, fit a lot of wrist sizes due to sort of the sort of sizing and stuff. But anyway, let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. So nothing's been applied onto the dial. You've got a printed minute track, which is like a railway going around the outer edge. Inside that, you've got numerals from 1 to 12 in yellow. You're submitted to 6, and you've got the sub dial for the second down at the 6 o'clock position. I like the yellow. I think it offers a nice contrast. The dial's really beautiful in this. It's all like a wood grain effect. I do really like that. You've got the sort of arrow just below the 12, and you've got the sub dial down at the 6, as I mentioned a moment ago. I think the sub dial does look really nice. It's nice also with a quartz. I'm not a huge fan of seeing it ticking. I do prefer an automatic watch, but with a sub dial, also you don't notice it quite as much. Plus, also it doesn't bother you so much if it doesn't line up exact, because on the little sub dials it's very difficult to see if it is exact. Do you understand what I mean? So, because sometimes with quartz movements, when they don't quite hit the marker, that would drive me crazy. But with this one, you can't quite see that. You've got nice blued hands on there. Got cathedral style hands for the hour and minute. You've got obviously a small hand because it's a sub dial down to 6 for the second. But nicely blued. In the hour and minute, you have got the yellow, which is in keeping with the numerals from 1 to 12. So lots of continuity there. I do like the way the crystal plays with the light in terms of how it distorts at the sides as well. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. I would say this is sort of a military-inspired, dressy piece, and I think they've nailed it in terms of the way it looks. Has also got loom, guys, and the loom did surprise me, to be honest. I wasn't expecting an awful lot. I know it's stated as have 100 meters water resistance, but this isn't going to be the sort of watch you take swimming and stuff, so I didn't think for 1 minute the loom would be fantastic, nor did I expect it to even have loom. So the fact it's got decent loom on there was a good, nice surprise. It's always nice when things come out better than you expect them to, and this is no different. So yeah, that's the loom. If you take the crown out, you'll see there's literally one position. That's it. You put it back in, it will start back up again. And like most watches, you take it out, you can change the time and stuff. But yeah, no date, no complication like that. It's simply one position, one and done. So that's the dial, guys. That's the movement. That's the loom. Let me just pop it on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. Okay, so guys and girls, on my wrist, like I said, my wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist. You'll see 4 holes to go tighter, 3 to get looser. So yeah, it's going to fit a lot of wrist sizes. I think it looks really, really nice. Like I said, a few color variations to choose from. So there's a good chance you're going to find something in keeping with your taste. But that dial was really stunning, isn't it? Along with those hands and stuff. So there we are. Okay, so guys and girls, that will take me swiftly on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you'll not always start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants about the watch is not a great deal, to be honest, but there's a couple of things I want to mention. One of them is going to be a little bit subjective, and hopefully, yeah, but the one thing I said early doors was the leather strap. It is nice. It looks pretty well made. Looks like it would last a long time, quite thick, but it just took a long time for it to fit, like in terms of conform to my wrist. That was a bit uncomfortable. And just all the polished elements. Like you say, I've wiped it several times, cleaned it, everything. You see the fingerprints. It's not going to be the easiest thing for me anyway to record, but also wearing, you're going to notice marks on there quite easily. So all polished in terms of what I say as well for the pants. So they're the two things, leather strap and all polished in terms of the watch itself. What I think is pucker, I've mentioned it already. I'm going to go with the dial. I do think that dial is really, really beautiful. Really well done. I go with the sapphire crystal. I like the fact they put such a pronounced bit of sapphire crystal on there was unexpected. I wasn't 100% sure what crystal I had when I got the watch, but I do love a bit of sapphire. The movement, a known entity inside this watch, is going to keep a lot of people happy. Where it's a Seiko movement, it's a VD78. Just to recap, the hands, like I said, the proportions of the hands are done really well, and I do like the fact they're blued. Blued hands are cool, don't they? The crown, like I said, a good size crown, nice knurling on there, nice and easy to engage with. Good size as well for the type of watch. The finishing, so as much as I knocked the watch in terms of it being all polished, the polishing is done really, really well, to be honest, guys. No smears. Apologies, like I said, this is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but in terms of the way the polishing is done, you'll see that's the back of my phone. It is done really, really well. The general look of the watch, I think the watch is a cracker. As I would always say, is a banger. I think it's a banger to watch. And the price, like I said, you could pick this up from sort of £70. If you get it cheaper than that as well, I think it's a cracking piece that would just last and last and last. So yeah, they're the things I'm going to say. Is I go with a dial, sapphire crystal, movement, hands, crown, finishing, general look, and the price of the watch. And that'll take me on to, would I recommend this watch? So, I mean, all these things are very subjective. Militado are sort of a relatively new brand. But I do think at this point, this is a really, really cool watch. It's one that you could wear in lots of different occasions. More dressy, I appreciate that. But yeah, I would recommend it. I think for the materials used, specs, for the price paid, I think it represents good value for outstanding value for money, really. But yeah, but yes, yeah, I definitely would recommend it. But guys and girls, please let me know what you think about this watch. More importantly, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.